Hello Blended, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I'm doing this look with the Sun and the Sea palette from Bella Beauty Bar. So if you'd like to see how I got this look, just keep on watching. Y'all, I'm really excited about this look. Bella Beauty Bar sent over the new and the most beautiful palette. It is the Sun and the Sea palette, and just look at these shades. I have never wanted to do a neutral look so bad in my life, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna play with the colors, and then like next week probably film something with the neutrals. This week is filming week and I have a few looks that I have planned, but this was like first on the list. So I got inspired by the amazing Brittany Huffman. She used the One Fish, Two Fish stencils from Definition Beauty and did like this shape with them, and I was like, I'm gonna do that and add some bubbles, and we're just gonna do all the mermaid like ocean vibes. So to start out, I'm gonna take Deep Dive, which is this beautiful, beautiful dark blue, and the Makeup Shack T66 brush. And my lid is proud with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas and Fair. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start to get the shape built up. This is like a super fun kind of cut crease look, but not like a full-on cut crease, but kind of. I'm not exactly sure what style it is, but it's fun. And I wanted to make sure that I had plenty of room for all the ishy fishes. So I'm just taking this and going back and forth with it. And I'm just really, really trying to build that shape up. I'm gonna take it about halfway and then start to flick it towards the arch of my brow. Just a little bit. I've taken it too far. It'll be okay. I cleaned that brush off and I'm gonna go into Waves, which is the blue right next to Deep Dive, and it is beautiful. I'm gonna blend it out with it. It's still kind of like a dark blue, but it's lighter than Deep Dive, and I just love it so much. So far I've noticed that this palette blends so beautifully. The formula is really, really nice. Thank you so much, Bella Beauty Bar, for sending me this palette. I love it so much. I'm so excited to create more looks with it. So I'm just kind of using this blue to blend out Deep Dive. And of course, since there's a purple in there, I was like, how am I going to incorporate the purple? It's my favorite color is purple. I'm going to take the Makeup Shack T14 brush and the shade Caribbean, which is the light blue. So I just went in with Waves, which is this one. And then I'm going to blend that out with Caribbean. And the shimmers, I used Siren, Tide Pool, and Sunkissed, and I would love to bathe in them. They're so beautiful. So I'm going to take Caribbean and just start to give it a little blenderoo. Back and forth windshield wiper motions with the lightest amount of pressure. And I'm going to take this up a little bit higher than I normally would, because I want to make sure that I have plenty of room for the stencil. And I am going to go back into the Waves and Deep Dive shades here in a minute and touch them up. So I'm going to take a little bit of Waves on that same brush and just start to bring it back a little bit. Oh, you know what was so funny to me was on a short that I put up the other day. It was a grungy-ish kind of look that I did with the Sugar and Grunge palette. And somebody was like, where are you wearing that to? It looks weird AF. And I was like, to dinner? So I definitely am not gonna have time to like make anything tonight, so we're going out, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go out like a mermaid. I'm gonna take a little bit more Deep Dive and just run that through the crease. I don't know, I just feel like it's a lot of fun to wear looks out. Like, I do have really bad social anxiety, but like if someone wants to talk about makeup with me, it kind of like makes me feel a little less anxious. So I don't mind wearing the looks out. And if I'm gonna spend 6 to 8 hours on a look, I might as well wear it out. Okay, so I've cleaned that brush off, and I'm going to take Caribbean and just soften everything up a little bit. Oh my gosh, here's a funny story. So, like, my cousin has been staying with me because she was in from out of state, and I'm really excited because I haven't got to see her for a while. So my other cousin was staying, and so, like, me and my cousin and my husband are all, like, big fans of Red Bull. And I was like, are we about to fight? Like, did you steal my Red Bull? And he's like, no. So I forgot to put some in the fridge so they weren't cold. And I did the same thing today. But thankfully, there was a big one in there. I was like, yeah, that's what you need, more caffeine. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dip into the Spooked palette by Gourmet Girls Cosmetics, and I'm going to take Ghoul, the white shade, to just kind of soften the blend. I feel like taking a white eyeshadow to soften the blend up just is more, or gives it a more airbrush effect, and I really like that. So I'm going to do that with the Makeup Shack T63 brush. Also, I highly recommend the Spooked palette. It's amazing. Anything that I've ever tried from Gourmet Girls has been just beautiful, and the formula is amazing. And yeah, it's a really good palette. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take some micellar water on a Q-tip and carve the crease out. And then if I take too much of the Deep Dive shade off, I will go back in and touch it up before I carve it out with some Drawer Cosmetics Clean Canvas and Fair. With the Makeup Shack T65 brush, I'm going to take a little bit more of Deep Dive and just really start to work it right here and just give it a little baby flick. So I'm going to take some Drawer Cosmetics Clean Canvas and Fair, carve out my crease, and get ready to do this purple blend. Yeah, so I'm going to get right to it. Alright, now that that's all carved out and ready to go, I'm going to take that Makeup Shack T65 brush and make sure I have it cleaned off because I forgot. I kind of dissociated for a minute on my phone. Never a good idea for me to do when I'm busy. This little seahorse is itching my eye. But anyway, I'm going to take Bikini, which is the purple shade, and I'm really excited. So, I'm going to take it. Where did I start it? On the other eye. Woo. I'm going to pop it into the crease. Just go back and forth with it to build up that shape. And then I'm going to swoop it up towards the tail of my brow. Just really get it nice and built up. Not worried about if it's super precise and clean just yet. Gonna work that into the crease a bit. Just go back and forth with it. Now to touch it up and make sure that it's nice and kind of clean and precise, which I'm not worried about this underneath bit. I'm gonna clean that up here in a little bit. Give it a nice little flick. And that is beautiful. That is like such a gorgeous purple shade. I'm obsessed. Obsessed, obsessed. So I'm going to take that Makeup Shack T66 brush and I'm going to make sure I have it cleaned off. And I'm going to blend out Bikini with Caribbean. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to take it right where Bikini left off and just kind of go back and forth with this shade. I'm going to go back in and touch everything up here in just a little bit. I know it's probably been a hot minute since I've done something like super wild on my channel, so I was really excited to do this today. And I believe I said it a little bit ago, but I got this idea from Brittany Huffman, and I just adore her work so much. And I saw where she did a look with this stencil pack from Definition Beauty a while back, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to save that to recreate. And then when this palette came in, and I was like, ooh, wait, I have an idea, but definitely the fish, the koi fish are inspired by her. I was like, yes. She's such an inspiration. And I'm going to take that same brush with Bikini, and I'm going to just go in and touch it up a little bit. Back and forth windshield wiper motions. So tomorrow I have to take Artemis back to the vet for his kitten shots. Tomorrow makes 10 months since I lost Shemart. And Artie baby has a respiratory infection, and I took him last week, and we got him antibiotics, and then he got a shot for it. But he's still kind of not quite acting like himself, so I'm going to bring that up tomorrow. Like, hey, like, I know he needs to take it till it's finished, but I just worry. I've turned into such a worry wart since I lost Shemart. I always worried about the cats, but, like, it's gotten so much worse. I think it's an anxiety thing. I'm just going back and forth in between these shades and touching them up. Now, him being sick has not taken away from the fact that he will go and pounce all of the other cats and just chew on them because he's teething. It's so funny, but then I can tell that he gets tired out easy. So it's not that I don't think the medicine's not working. I'm just a worry. I'm going to dip right back into that Spooked palette and go into the shade Ghoul again with the Makeup Shack T63 brush. And I'm going to diffuse this, lighten it up a little bit. Nice and airbrushed. Then I'm going to take that Makeup Shack T14 brush and a little bit of Caribbean again, and I'm going to just start to pat that shade. Just gently tap it down and go back and forth with it. Do the same thing with Bikini. Just kind of pat it down. Why am I whispering? And then go back and forth with it. Well, Artemis is asleep in the other room, so that's probably why I'm like, oh, I don't want to wake him up. He says, CB baby, you gotta talk louder, you don't have a microphone. I'm gonna take some micellar water on a Q-tip, carve this out, and then, well, clean it up and then carve it out. And then I'm gonna put on some little ishy fishies. So these are the Definition Beauty one fish, two fish stencils, and they're adorable. They have different kinds of fish. They have the koi fish. They're smaller ones. These ones, I think, are the same size, maybe a bit bigger. No, it's the same size. But the cool thing about these stencils is that you can take the bit that's around it, like that square bit, and you can trim it so it's just like the outline. And when I did a bubbly koi fish look a while back, whenever these first come out, I'm trying to think. I didn't have air conditioning at the time, and it was getting hot, and I really needed it, and I like almost sweated the look off. But I had done that, and I had trimmed the square around it so that it was just a blank, like empty stencil, and then I filled it in with eyeliner. And yeah, but I'm gonna use just the regular fishy boys today. They're so cute. And I did take the clean canvas down pretty far. My camera had cut off, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to hurry and get this up to where I can show you how I pop these on. So I'm just going to stick it down. I feel like that's not quite how I had it before. That's almost too far. Okay, there we go. Got one fish. Oh yeah, because they're called one fish, two fish, like the first look that I did with them, I did like the red fish and the blue fish, like the book. It made me think about like being little and my parents reading me those books. So anyway, that was just that tidbit of useless information. So I'm gonna circle this around here, but it also makes me think of that Pink Floyd song, we're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl. Can't remember the name of that. How can I not? Because that's one of the few of their songs that I really, really like. Okay, stencils on. Let's do some shading. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start over here, but I'm gonna take the Makeup Shack T65 brush and Bikini, And I'm gonna kind of just like outline the fish with it. So I'm getting the shade, that shade, and just kind of tapping it on to where it just outlines it. I'm really just kind of tracing out the fish with the eyeshadow. I'm so sorry for her too. She is so mad at me. Okay, so once I have it like that, I think I want to go ahead and move on to, oh, that's up too high. Look at me. I'm glad I looked before I just went in with it. There we go. That's better. Well, is it? I think I didn't take it in far enough. There we go. There we go. There we go. I was doing the big nervous. Okay. I'm going to take Deep Dive. And I'm going to just kind of tap it along the fish. Now I am trying my very, very best to just tap it so that the stencil doesn't lift, because I did use them on my other eye. And there, you can get multiple uses out of them, but I just don't want to have any lifting to where the eyeshadow gets underneath the stencil. This is one of those looks that it's like, I really wish that my Grammy were still here so I could show this to her when I'm finished with it. Because she'd be like, how long did this take you? I'd be like, a lot less than the 7 hours that the other one took me. And she would probably laugh at me. Okay, so I'm going to take this Makeup Shack T101 brush and Caribbean. And I'm going to just kind of tap it on to where I put the purple bikini. I will go back in and touch it up, but I'm just trying to get everything blended. I'm also going to take it onto the lid to where it looks like it's giving my eye a nice little hug, because I'm going to do more of like a halo cut crease. I used to hate doing halo cut creases, but now I love doing halo eyes, halo cut creases, you name it, I love it. And I'm also going to connect it with that a little bit. And I'm going to have to go back in and touch that up because I just messed up. But I'm also going to put bubbles down, so I'm not sure if I want to go back in and touch it up just because it's going to be covered with a bubble anyway. So, do how you would like with it. If you don't want to touch it up and you're going to put bubbles over it, then don't worry about it. But if you feel like you want to, then do what you want to do. And I'm going to take that Makeup Shack T66 brush and a little bit more bikini and just stamp that to bring it back. Yeah, Toots mad because my cousin came and stayed with me, so I didn't film. Like, I just kind of did a couple of mini tutorials instead of like being in here and filming. But I left my door open because, you know, I wasn't worried about if there was like noise or anything, because I usually take the audio off of my mini tutorials. And now Toots like, I want to be in there with you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you'll be in here knocking stuff over. It's her favorite thing to do. So I'm going to take, not that brush, I just used it. I want to use this one. The Makeup Shack T14 brush and a little bit more of Caribbean. And just kind of really start to try to soften that blend up. And just kind of drag that onto the lid a little bit. And take a little bit more bikini and just tap it ever so gently back and forth a little bit to diffuse it. Little baby blenderoos. Cute! With the Makeup Shack T66 brush, I'm going to take waves and just kind of blend out, deep dive with it, just pat it along the edges of it. Ah, that was not okay, but it's okay. Messed up, but that's alright. And I'm going to take waves, kind of a little farther in. And with the Makeup Shack T101 brush, I'm going to take more of Caribbean. And start to just, oh no, gently diffuse this. And I'm going to go over and I'm going to just tap it. Take a little bit more of waves. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is play with some shimmers, and you know I love a good sparkly moment, and I just like, Siren was one of the first ones that caught my attention aside from like these ones right here, because I love a nice little iridescent multi-chrome duochrome moment. So Siren and Tide Pool are the two that I will be using on the sides, and then I will have Water Nymph down the center. They're so beautiful. Okay, so how I'm going to do this first is I'm going to take Siren on my finger, and I'm just going to kind of pat that and drag it over a little bit, leaving the center of my lid blank. Just really kind of blend this with Caribbean. Do you see the shift? It's got a little bit like a hint of like purple in it. Oh, I love. And then I'm going to take that Cleona DF04 brush, and I'm going to get a little bit of it on there and run it up into the crease, so it's nice and up in there. And then I'm going to take Tide Pool. Look at that. And I'm going to do the same thing. That was too much. That's alright. Just look at how dreamy that is. So I'm going to make these kind of look like they're giving my eye a nice little hug. And I took too much, but that is so okay. I will swatch it on my hand and oogle at it. And take a little bit more Tide Pool to get it right up in that crease and tap it onto those blues. Oh, I love. And then with Water Nymph, I'm gonna, wait, no, I took Sunkissed, because Water Nymph has like a hint of pink to it that it looks like. Wait. No, I think that's what I took. Hold on. I'm gonna swatch. I forgot. No, I took Sunkissed. Yes, yes, yes. But I'm gonna just pop that right down the center. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, and then I'm gonna take that Cleona brush and make sure I have it cleaned off. And just get it up in there and just kind of pat it along the edges of the other shimmers. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, I'm gonna take the Spook palette again and use Ghoul with that fluffy brush, the Makeup Shack T63 brush. And I'm going to just go ahead and start to diffuse the edges back and forth, very light pressure, right against the edges of it for a nice diffused blend. And then I'm going to take, because I took that clean canvas like all underneath my eye, I'm going to show you how I got the smoky blown out under eye as well. I think when I first started my channel, I used to always come back and do my under eye. Would y'all be interested in me doing my under eye again? Or is it fine not? I'm going to take Ghoul and just... Oh, I got to add the bubbles. Look at me forgetting. I was like, yeah. Ooh. Got to show those details. It's like one of my favorite parts of doing tutorials is when I doodle, is like showing how I do it. Because I used to get aggravated when I would watch tutorials when I was first learning, and I like would see somebody do something really cool on their eye, because I've always struggled with drawing. I'm like, how did they do that? And I'd watch the whole thing, and then they wouldn't show it on camera, and I'd be like... So I like to try to do as much as I can on camera to show like what I'm doing. So I'm going to do... Oh, I probably won't add the rhinestones or the little decals, but I got the little gold seashells and starfish and seahorses from Amazon. And then the gems are the Manic Gems Angel Baby Rhinestone Pack. So now I'm going to take the Makeup Shack T66 brush, if I can find it. Where did I set it? Watch it be right in front of my face, because that's usually how she goes. exactly how. I just cleaned my desk off and I still can't find anything. I was trying to dip in the wrong palette. Okay, please bear with me. No, I'm having fun. I'm just really excited about this look. I'm going to take Deep Dive and I'm going to run that up against that lash line. With that same brush, I'm going to blend out Deep Dive with Waves. My camera batteries went out on me. I had to change them and it was like mid-blend and I was like, oh. I'm going to connect this up by this fish on the outer corner of my eye. Oh, and then I had to go run and get something to snack on. And Artemis was coming to me and he was big purr. And I was like, oh, baby. He was just like, oh, hi. Because he'd been napping today. He just purred so big. He has like such a big purr. It's so precious. I'm like, I love you so much. I'm going to blend that out with Caribbean. I'm quite happy with it. So I'm just going to remove the stencils. One of my favorite parts. It's so satisfying. I love. Isn't that cool? Like the negative space fish. I love. Okay, I'm going to try my absolute best to replicate these bubbles. Now, I will be upfront with a few of them down underneath. I just used the Suva Hydro Liner in Space Panda, but for these, I did them with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas in white and then filled them in and then outlined them with the Suva Hydro Liner in Space Panda. So, I'll show you both ways. So for the bubbles, I took a nail dotting tool. I found these on Amazon. And then I took some Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas in white. And I started to just do big dots. Not all of them were big. You just kind of do them in the shape that you would like. So I wanted a few big ones, a couple medium ones, some smaller ones. And I just dot them on there. And I put some of the Clean Canvas in white on the back of my hand. Because I felt like it was a little bit easier. Just kind of get it and doodle them out. And they are kind of, at first when I first tried them, I saw Lens Makeup Looks do a bubbles look, and I was really intimidated. I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? And then I was like, watching her tutorial, and I was like, oh, and I did it, and they're so much fun. So, just get your base of choice, and like under the under eye, I use the Suva Hydro Liner and Space Panda, but up top, I just use the Clean Canvas and Fair. So, you can use a white concealer, whatever kind of base that you're comfortable with, whichever one you like the best, whatever you have on hand, just do some dots, and get as many of them doodled on as you wanted to. So, I'll just kind of dot it, and then I'll just kind of like move it around to make it a little bit bigger, get the size that I want. And then I'm just taking a small detail and liner brush with the shades that I used on my eye. So here I used the purple and the light blue Caribbean and kind of blended them together and just go back in like back and forth and blend them together. I started out doing it this way where I would just take the purple and get the purple put down, and then I would go in after I got all of the purple and put the blue. So I'm just kind of shading everything in, kind of like a pie graph or a pie chart, and just taking the shade and filling it in. And then I will take the blue here in just a minute, but just kind of play around with it, have fun. It's all kinds of fun to do these. Like, I was so intimidated that I was so nervous, and then I did it, and I was like, oh, I can't believe that I told myself that I wouldn't be able to do it, because they're just so much fun. So now with the lightest blue shade, I'm going in and filling in the empty bits of the base and just blending it with that purple and getting a nice and gradient blend. I will kind of go back in some and touch up the purple if I feel like it needs it, and if I kind of get a little out of the base with it, it's okay, because I'm gonna go in. I cannot talk this morning. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go in like right now, and I'm taking that hydro liner and I'm just outlining the circles, the little dots, to make them look more like bubbles. And I'm going to go around every one of them with this liner. And these brushes I got off of Amazon. I meant to put them in the description box the other week. I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then I will tell myself when I'm uploading this to put the link there. I don't make any money off of it or anything, but I have had questions about where I've gotten my brushes, and I really, really like these ones. They were pretty cheap, and there's like 3 or 4 different sizes and lengths, and I've had them for a little over a year. Really like them. So I'm just using them to outline the bubbles, going around, trying to get them as circular as possible. And then once I get every one of them circled or outlined, I'm going to take a little bit more of the liner and do kind of like a little winky face, but not really. So kind of like a semicolon. But that'll be after I get everything outlined. Just go around and circle it up. And I did go back in some and kind of like make them a little more pronounced. But I'm doing more of like a semicolon, more sporadically, kind of give it that illusion of a bubble. So here is where I took the Suva Hydroliner in Space Panda and did it like I did with the Clean Canvas in white. I just started to make a dot and then make the dot a little bit bigger. I don't know why I decided to use, to use the liner underneath. I just was being a little lazy with it. I was like, well, the liner's right here, so I might as well do that. And yeah, so it dries down a little more quickly, but it's still easy enough to add the shades over top. And it kind of, to me, doesn't quite run as badly. Not that the Clean Canvas really, like, runs. I just get a little impatient and don't let it kind of dry down enough, if that makes sense. I'm sometimes a little impatient, but I feel like we kind of can all be that way every once in a while. So I was just taking it and making the dots. I want to say I only did 4. And this eye kind of was sisters, not twins, with the other one. But it was fun. So just make you some dots and then let it dry down a little bit. Go in, shade it with your purple and your blue. And if you're doing these with a different color combination, any colors, it's like, they'll work. So I've done this before with like a pastel green and pink and blue, or pastel purple and pink and green or something like that. And yeah, the possibilities are endless. They're so much fun. And like we did up top, once you got them shaded in, take you some liner, outline them, and get them all bubbly. And then you do a dot and a whoop, and a dot and a whoop for the little, did I do it like that? It looked like I did it like that. Like went right in and did the little, the little details. So just do them however you would like. They're a lot of fun to do. And I'll keep saying that. It's like, Julie, make your vocabulary bigger. I need to do that. But anyway, I just outline them and then do a little dot and a little, like, tiny line. Alright, I'm going to go do the rest of my face and I'll be right back. Alright, so this is the finished look. What do you think? I feel like it looks so cool, especially now that I have like all the rest of my makeup on. I'm so excited. I always have a hair that wants to just be where does it need to be. But then, okay, so these earrings I made like back when, oh gosh, back in the winter time. But I was like, oh yeah, like it totally goes with, because the way the bubbles are bubbled and whatnot. But it still wants to be backwards. I think I made it wrong. Anyway, it's not about the earrings. This palette is amazing. Thank you so much again to Bella Beauty Bar for sending it to me. The formula is awesome. The colors are so pigmented. These shimmers I am so in love with. Like, I'm so excited to play with them again. And I hope that y'all like this look. I know it's like really kind of out there, but it was really fun to just sit down and like do something super creative. Let me know what you'd like to see next down in the comments below. And if you'd like to keep up with my awkward face and shenanigans while I'm not here on YouTube, I have all my social medias linked in the description box down below. And if you'd like to keep up with me while I am here on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. It means so much to me and I can't thank you enough. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I'll see you in the next one. Bye!